Well, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Magic. I'm from Lab team. With me is Ian Arden. I'm pleasure to have hosting the today workshops. Um, Massive welcome to today live workshop. Whether you're tuning from X, YouTube, on LinkedIn, we are thrilled to have you with us. Today is a special one. If you ever been in a hackathon, you know that speed is everything. But in 2025, it's not just about how fast you type, it's how smart you leverage your AI and use these tools for your favor, especially on these time-consuming events that the hackathons are. Uh, Today we titled this session. It's one of the first our series of workshops. It is titled the session AI to Code It because we see so many developers struggling with the same things, getting stuck in a boilerplate code, fighting an AI hallucinations, or failing to ship a working demo by the deadline. So we are here to fix that, and we have a really nice agenda today with us today. um, let me just say it. So today on the agenda, we have amazing things. With me today is Ian Arden. Ian Arden has really deep experience in AI. He's an AI advisor and founder at Adaya, also an ex-VC and serial builder and an entrepreneur. Hi, Ian. How are you today?
Hey, Magic. I'm good. I'm good. You?
Okay, so tell me more. What have you prepared for us today? What's the agenda? What the viewers will have the chance to learn today?
So look, first of all, I'm not new to Lab. We've been trying to work together for a while now, right? So I've known how fantastic the platform is and how it's attracted more than 200,000 developers long ago. But recently, I was able to judge at one of the hackathons that you guys have organized in Dubai and online. And I'm like, okay, I'm 40 years old, and I've been in the industry of like tech ventures for in tech building for like 2.5 decades. And so I have some recommendations to give to people in terms of how the projects are structured and so on. Um, so I'm very excited to be here today because I want to pass on as much knowledge, as many like insights and ideas as possible. And it's not only about the development, but it's about like everything for you, ladies and gentlemen, if you are participating in this hackathon, to like really succeed with it as much as possible. um, I'm pretty sure that the chances of success are very high. I'll be walking through this in my further presentation, but all in all, I'll try to lay out as much of my own experience and thoughts, and what worked for me and the companies that we have accelerated or invested in the past, for your overall success.
Awesome, Ian. It's really amazing to hear. I'm looking forward to see what kind of knowledge will spread to all of our community of hackathon participants, builders. I think there is a lot of that they can learn from you. Before we start, I just want to say that this is an interactive session, so please drop your questions in the chat or wherever platform you are watching. We will be picking them up for the Q&A at the end. So the rundown for today is that we go through the workshops, probably around 2.5 hours. Then we're gonna pick the best question from the chat, and we're gonna have a live Q&A session as well. So, okay, Ian, great to have you here. The stage is yours. I'm now
Oh, are
removing
you
myself.
leaving me? All
Of
right,
course,
it's fine.
don't worry. I will be on the backstage to take caring on everything. But uh,
Okay,
good
I,
luck.
I, I have.
Yes.
Great. I have to warn you about one thing. If I don't receive enough questions or feedback, you need to jump in and ask yourselves, because I will get bored and then I will just stop and continue eating my chocolate fudge cake that I have here, and I'll be just waiting for the questions. So really, like I endorse everyone to be as proactive as possible. Like, ask me anything. I typically charge quite a lot for my advice, full of work, so it's not very easy to get a hold of me otherwise. This is your chance to like ask everything you want.
Awesome. I have some questions prepared, so don't worry. We're gonna really really use of this time for sure.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Great. Then I think we can share the screen.
Yep. Okay. So here is it. I'm gonna remove myself from the stage now. The stage is yours. Good luck, and looking forward to seeing what you prepare for our fellow participants.
Oh, sounds good. Thanks for that. So I will start with my personal introduction, so that you can get a better understanding who I am and why exactly you need to listen to me, and why my advice could be helpful and valuable. But also, I think it's important to kind of outline where exactly you can count on my help. So that's why, like, I will walk through um, like who I am and what I do, what I did in the past. First of all, I'm a seasoned venture capital investor, serial entrepreneur, and technology innovator with focus on AI currently, Web3 before. We still do a little bit of Web3, and overall, like 2.5 decades of experience in the technology overall. So I advise, I venture build, I help entrepreneurs build companies. I used to invest a lot. I invest much lesser right now, but we plan to renew our investments activities soon. I live here in Abu Dhabi, but have the global perspective, multiple connections all over the world, particularly in Silicon Valley, which is pretty useful to get to understand what is boiling and cooking in the epicenter of the technology. Um, Now, I started my career as a C++ developer. I actually wanted to be a philosopher at school, but my father was the one who was like, look, the competition for philosophy is like so low that it maybe sucks as the profession. So why don't you become a developer?" And I hated software development, but here we go. I had very first successes with C++. That's what I started with, and then throughout the career, I did C Sharp, managed C, PHP, Java, Solidity, Python, JavaScript. So like pretty cool stack out there. I then shifted to real estate development, which is like property, so like construction, and it's helped me build a good understanding of how businesses work, how the financials works. We used to deal with the investors back then. So that was my first practice in some investor-related activities. Then I first touched AI. It was not that way in 2007. And the company whom I built the technology for, me and my co-developer, like we built the MVP version of this technology. Many previous teams have struggled before us, and when we shipped it, like it was a huge success, and the company was sold to Dell Computers for north of $130 million a couple years later. And I think this gave me an important lesson that if you persevere and if you like get over the struggles and the issues, um, and like really tackle the hard problems that many other developers like are not willing to take care of, like this is your path to success. So don't be afraid to like drill down and challenge yourselves, accept the challenges that other people are saying no to, right? Like being proactive and being the self challenger, I think is kind of like the most important for someone's success. And many gurus and like tech leaders and entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and Alex Hormozy and many others are basically saying the same, that entrepreneurship is like the sacrifice, is the conscious sacrifice. So it gives you freedom because you have made the choice of that sacrifice. The unconscious sacrifice is slavery, and this is how we typically live our lives. We follow the patterns that is instilled by schools and our jobs and stuff like that. And I wish more people step on the path of like the conscious sacrifice, where they will go through the hurdles because they want to build something cool, something that will change the world, and of course will help them and help their families uh, to thrive and become wealthy. I did Web2 development and acceleration for nearly the next decade. After that, in 2016-17, was my second touch with artificial intelligence with IBM Watson. The companies we worked with have raised $60 million in total. We were renowned as a top agency for an AI related category by Upwork. We practically have developed a new category of the AI chatbots there, like it was not existent before. Um, I then did the career in blockchain. In 2017, I started a company called Applicator, which turned to be the A to Z accelerator for Web3 and crypto. I started coding Solidity myself. I'm incredibly obsessed with the technology, especially with the smart contract and how Solidity is organized. Well, of course, because C++ was my first language, so it just develops this nostalgia. Um, and as we know, Solidity is like is like not, I would say, like truncated C++, but it like borrows a lot of concepts from it, making it simplified too. We then started the investment brand called Mempool Ventures, where we started deploying capital in companies. And by the way, like at the peak of Applicator's success, we used to work with 250 people in terms of like the team's count, and helped more than 500 entrepreneurs. We launched dozens of projects. Some of them were like, in the vicinity of $100 million to $1 billion in terms of the fully diluted market cap on coin market cap. We then started doing the high net worth individuals events to really connect the best performing entrepreneurs with the investors and to share knowledge and stuff. And then I started Adaya in 2023. And frankly, I thought I was late to the market with the artificial intelligence, but turns out the gap between what technology has to offer and how businesses know to use it is so huge um, that like we have a lot of work really. Now, okay, key achievements, like just to recap how many different things we've been through and achieved. But this is all not so much to brag about like how cool I am or anything, but more for you um, to get to understand where exactly I can help you, and like what experience you can refer to, and take it from there. So feel free to ask questions if you think I can be helpful if in any of these. So as you can observe, I'm a mix of like I'm wearing multiple hats. I am a developer at my core, but I'm a pretty good speaker, and I used to be in business management for a long time, building startups. I've spent a fair bit of time in Silicon Valley, so I'm able to kind of grasp different areas of the startup building life cycle, if you will. Now, with this, I would like to switch over to the presentation on how exactly you can rock with Lab Hackathon if you are a developer or a technologist, maybe an entrepreneur, maybe you don't have development skills, but you're participating in the hackathons. So with that, um, I want to make sure I am audible. Mache, I need your help to confirm you can hear me all right, and I will continue.
Yes, Everything we can hear is nicely. Just the
Okay, good.
presentation. We only see the introduction to LabLab Hackathon.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to
Awesome.
be. Yes.
Everything.
Okay. So we first of all, like I think you guys have like hundreds of hackathons that you have managed on the platform, and hundreds of thousands of developers that have participated in different activities. Um, LabLab is collaborating with the top brands on earth in terms of the AI. And when I first met Powell 2 years ago, he shared the backstage story about LabLab, how he was researching everything about artificial intelligence even before it became kind of mainstream. And he was able to figure out this niche of the hackathons and has built the vision that spans years and years in into the future. So I recommend everyone to stick to LabLab, participate in hackathons repeatedly, and almost like make this your hobby to go through through them. Now, why does this make sense? First of all, let me share my experience from the judging that I did on the previous hackathon. There was give or take 200 projects. At least by the moment when I was there, it was a little bit under 200. And I would say out of all that number, only 20 projects could pose, or like 10% of the projects, would pose a real competition to you if you took the hackathon like really seriously and prepared for it like in the best possible way. And so, compete for a prize pool of like $25,000 with only 19 other rivals. It's kind of worth it because let's do some money ball, some calculations. Say you're spending 15 hours of your time to participate in a hackathon, and then let's say that depending on where you are on Earth, your hourly rate is like $20 per hour. And I get it, like it can be 100 or $150 per hour if you are a super duper developer in the developed world where the rates are obviously higher, but then you will spend less time. You will not need all 15 hours for the hackathon because you'd probably be more experienced. But let's just establish this as the average rate globally. Um, and then so it turns out that the amount, like the cost of the hackathon is actually $300 for you if you're spending 15 hours at $20 per hour. With that though, like even if you don't win a hackathon, like you're getting an interesting experience, you're learning something new, and um, you're enriching your GitHub and what have you. So there are like side benefits to like participating in a hackathon itself. If I was available and not busy with other things, I'd probably like make it a part of my career, like participating in the hackathons like serially and just see where I can go with it. And so, as I mentioned, the winning rate of it is 5%. Um, so if a pool prize, like let's say, is like $20,000 or $15,000, something that you can win. So with a say it's $20,000, and your win rate statistically, if you're just good enough on average, if you don't apply like any extra principles and approaches to it, would be um, would be how much out of 20,000, 5% is $1,000. So $1,000 is already like, if you calculate it statistically, is already more like it's higher than $300 in the cost of your participation in the hackathon in terms of your time value. So from that perspective, like it's just rational and reasonable to me to participate in it. Um, Now, I would perceive a hackathon like I would approach it. I know how people approach it because when I was young and at the stage where hackathons have been attracting me, um, I it'll be something casual. I'll be like, let me go there and like just try to build something. Like let's see what pans out of it. But from the uh, in the retrofit, just thinking about like how I would perceive it and approach the hackathons now, I would think of that as the startup entry point for something that I want to build in the long run. Um, in fact, like I know people who have built massive products, including in the Web3 space, and how this all started was. They participated in the hackathon and built something. Like they formed the team during the hackathon, and it was a small beginning to something fantastic. Take 1inch, for example. Like they have been a massive company in the Web3 space, and their story is exactly like that. Um, they just started as a hackathon project, and so it means that you have to consider yourself like starting a startup instead of like building some quick and dirty thing, which is like an average approach to a hackathon, I would say. And your preparation for this will recoup tenfold because um, well, what I noticed is not enough people like get ready for it. So your chances are pretty high, chances of winning if you prepare and package it properly, right? The second reason to participate is of course the networking opportunity, and you can think of like finding the co-founders for your stuff that maybe like you will throw in the trash bin, but you will maintain the relationship with the co-founders, and you will build something different. Um, a really cool strategy would be like to get in touch with the judges and the partners of the hackathon after the hackathon itself over LinkedIn or other sources and ask for additional feedback and what have you. And really, a hackathon is a way for you to test your ideas in an environment which somewhat like reminds of the real world, especially if one of the team members, okay, if you form a really balanced team that is comprised like of both technologists and like business development people, you can involve the business development guys into things um, like design thinking, where you would formulate a product problem, and then you would try to go with this assumption of the problem and talk to people in different environments, ask them for feedback, observe whether the problem that you have is a hypothesis is something that these potential users can observe, and so on. So it's a really powerful space and time for you to set aside everything else and just get in with the hackathon like for serious. So in order to treat this with like full seriousness, you have to follow certain steps. First of all, you need to choose the relevant theme for your like overall like product idea, right? And how do you like come up with this theme? I would from both like the practical perspective, but as an investor, I would recommend you think of something that is your ikigai. So it's an intersection of your expertise, your passion, something that where you can bring value to the society and the world, and make yourself rich. So the intersection of all of this is something that guarantees you the highest chance of success, because the products and the startups that are getting funded further down the path are typically the ones where the team is knowing what they are doing because they have been in the space for a while now. So combining like all your previous experience with some new approaches is the best way to go. Um, well, think about it. Like if you have worked somewhere for many years, you have already formed. Well, first of all, like of course, the expertise, the competence in that area. Secondly, you have formed the relationships with the other people. This could be like the ex-employees in the companies you have worked in. Those could be like the bosses of the companies. Um, those could be like connections with the partners in the space that you can leverage because you've already established them in the past. And also just understanding the peculiarities of this entire area of expertise that you have developed. So that's an important one. Then you want to create an inspiring environment for um, your team. If you are like the newly formed team with the co-founders who've never met before, uh, you typically like need to split the roles in the team properly. They have to reflect what you do as a professional. So are you a developer, a business developer, a marketeer? I think that's the optimal like trio for the hackathon team. And it also have it has to like go well aligned with your personalities. So what you ladies and gentlemen can do is like also take the personality tests such as 16 personalities, and you will figure out organically and naturally like who is the introvert versus the extrovert, who are the people persons versus the logics persons. And from there you would be able to like outline the roles in the team better. I actually have to highlight this because it's something that breaks, really successful startups further down the path. Like a business model itself can be pretty good; they can hit the jackpot. But if the team chemistry is lacking, if there is no way for them to understand like what they can rely on other partner with naturally because their soft skills strengths are there, the companies may just fall apart because of these personalities clashes. So understanding personalities is totally worth it. Again, the task that I recommend is the simplest one to pass, and the most money has been put into it is 16 personalities. If you just Google 16 personalities, uh, you'll get to find it. All right. So after you have established a theme assumption, you will move into the core problem. And this is the natural next step that somehow many of us miss. And I'm not an exception there. I do this all the time. I get excited with some idea. I think something is cool, especially because I am the technologist. I can see how the technology like can do miracles in some areas, and I'm like, oh, that's a very cool idea to build this because technology can do this. Well, turns out nobody wants your idea. Nobody wants this technology to do the thing that you think is cool because it's changing the world. Because people just either don't have the problem around that area or they don't realize that they have a problem. So it's best to start with the problem definition. What exactly are you trying to solve? Like, what is the issue? Formulate that, and then after that, go to the formulation of the solution. There is an ongoing debate about like whether you should ship new versus existing ideas, um, and I think the success of many companies has been on the back of everything existing, but like incrementally better. So, so Elon Musk has built better cars. Gmail was so popular because it was just a better email. Of course, there was a lot of innovation under the bonnet. So, the new has been in the detail, but it's uh, it's it's as such a competition in the category that is already established. And why this works so well is because people have already established this category in their brain. Like they literally know how it works and what to do with it. They have their previous experience. They know that this category is solving some of their problems, and what you're doing is you're fitting into like very clear frames that don't require any like cognitive load from new users to get to understand what the hell it is. Like it's something new that I can't categorize even. It's much easier to just get into the category and say no, we are going to be better at that category. We'll ship better features. We'll maybe find new channels to deliver the same functionality. I'll talk later about the channels themselves too. Um, so I recommend focusing on the existing categories and ideas, because I just noticed that there are too many like strives and attempts to build something completely new that is then hard for people to adopt. And frankly, like the companies who are the first movers, the pioneers in their space, uh, they usually spend the most money on building the market and the education, and then like typically there will be some breakthrough innovator in the same category who are not number one in their industry, but they will build a better product, and people already know this category from someone who has been a pioneer and spent all their time and corporate money to educate the audience, and the one who is better just coming in and taking a fair market share. um, the distribution channels is also quite an important and strategic choice to make, because I think your chance of success is much higher, especially since you are a small team and you're only starting out. If instead of the building like a product that lives on its own in the ocean, you try to stick to a certain ecosystem that exists out there. Some of the examples could be, um, like say, a marketplace of the existing huge application that has a good acceptance rate. So Slack here has their marketplace, and you can develop the Slack extensions. WordPress is a good example of that. Like build a WordPress plugin that is just better than any other in your category, and ship it to the WordPress marketplace. And you will have a pretty good success rate, because millions and millions of people all over the world are using the WordPress as their primary CMS for websites. What are some other examples of like the channels or the ecosystems? Um, well, Salesforce is the ecosystem. Like there are many other CRM tools that have built marketplaces as well. Pipedrive is the one that I like for how sleek their user interface is. They've built the entire ecosystem too. Uh, so you want to think in those terms, like how can I, a very small company, survive in this hostile world where the customer acquisition costs are pretty high, much higher than we think. So how can I leverage this environment, the ecosystem that already serves that as a distribution channel, um, to get access to hundreds of thousands or millions of customers. Then after you have, and by the way, so probably like the channels is part of a broader exercise of creating the business model canvas. It's something that many angels and investors, especially in Silicon Valley and around, are looking at. It's a term or a concept that was coined by, I think, Steve Blank and Eric Ries, and they define the core pillars that describe every business model or a company. So the revenue streams, the costs, the customer segments, customer relationships, resources, channels, yeah, and a few more. So you pull up the business model canvas online. If you just Google for it, you will find both the images, but I really recommend to search for a business model canvas spreadsheet, or ask your chat GPT to generate the questions for your business model canvas formulation, and it will help you refine the ideas that you have, or even like the problem statements that you've collected from the market, and turn that into something more tangible. And please, you will not forget to then derive the entire presentation of your startup or your hackathon project from the business model canvas. It's just so simple to do this. So you can use the same chat to grow the ideas and so on, grow the meat around the business model canvas, and then you will ask AI to use the um, like typically investors like Sequoia template for the pitch decks. So you will ask it to create the pitch deck according um, to the Sequoia template with BMC, Business Model Canvas. That's where like we are nearing to the coding itself, but um, but as you see, like I spend a lot of like time and attention on like formulating what exactly we are going to build before you even touch the code. It's super important, guys, because what is happening is I, as a judge, see too many projects that have developed something, but I have no idea like who needs it, what is the total addressable market, what is the business model with it. Um, Sometimes like I see and hear the projects. No, I see the projects that I cannot hear. Like there is no voice in the recording of the demo. So when you're providing your hackathon mm, result by just recording the screen of the application and you're just clicking over the application without your voice on it and without any presentation of what it is, maybe you've put many hours in building this product itself, but because you are so um, you haven't spent enough time on presenting it properly, like judges will just not appreciate your idea because they are not able to. Then I, as a judge, will sometimes report this. I will like escalate to the to either the team at Lab, or I will like put the feedback um, to the product that I couldn't hear this. But I assume if I had less time for judging and I wouldn't care, I'd probably just skip the startup or give it the lowest probable score. And I want your scores, every one of yours, to be like really high. I think with the use of artificial intelligence, there is a lot of stuff that we can do in order to make it happen. Now, with vibe coding and AI assisted development, I would like to highlight the three tools that I personally like, and I will then proceed with a certain demonstration of how I vibe code and how exactly I use these tools. But first, let's go through them. Cloud Code is the one that I still love using, especially for the more complex projects. And I will show you my Cloud Code setup because I think I'm using it to the greatest extent. It's pretty sophisticated on my end. Um, with that, though, there is a platform for vibe coding called DataButton that not many people know of. And for me, by the way, this text is wrong. It's not for easy data management. DataButton is a vibe coding tool. Um, you can find it at databutton.com. It's a web-based coding tool, and we will focus on DataButton-based coding today because I think this is the one that will fit your hackathon goals the most, because it is the simplest in terms of the setup and the use. And you can still export the code later on and port it over to Cloud Code for the further development when your project grows. And then I'm hearing Google is really like sending the ripples on the water with anti-gravity for AI assisted development, but I didn't try anti-gravity myself, so I can speak too much. Just the note that you want to pay attention to it, because I am hearing a lot of good feedbacks from my peer developers who have tried anti-gravity. Now, when it gets to like the development itself, another mistake that I typically see that you can fix is you want to start the development with from the right place, or at the right place, which is um, there has to be a certain like software development lifecycle established right from the beginning. And the one place that people skip is the product requirements document. Somehow the developers, they because they just tend to think in the think in code and think in the solutions because it's just so easy for them. They jump into like writing the code instead of like organizing the product requirements document. But I find it to be extremely necessary in the era of the artificial intelligence to provide the PRD, and I will show you how exactly I structure it in my Claude Code setup environment. You also want to pay a special attention to the aesthetics of the application. Somehow, I don't know like why this happens still, but I was able to see some applications with very poor design, and of course I saw the applications which are super beautiful. And you know what? Um, just for the look of it, like I'm giving an application a better score, and because it speaks about a lot of things. It speaks about the attention to details. It tells me that the founders have thought through more things, and so I can rely on this product more. So don't underestimate the importance of the aesthetics. And so the best way that you can uh, ensure it, if you're I know many developers, they don't have like a very good taste for visual things. They Many of us consider this to not be so important. Kind of, so what, it works is the main thing. um, so steal the aesthetics or reverse engineer it. For example, you can feed a few screenshots to your to ChatGPT and be like, "Hey, can you please describe this aesthetic style in a textual format so that I can use it for my further vibe coding or AI-assisted development?" And then the AI will do a pretty good job of like spitting you out a document that describes this the look and feel that you can carry over to your application. Especially look, because there are like the hackathon you're participating in is in the partnership with the Web3 ecosystem partner who have their own design language. So I would recommend to like screenshotting their design language and like not doing not doing this like 100% copy, but get inspired by it. And so then it will be easier for the partner to integrate your solution into their ecosystem if your solution follows the same language. Does it make sense? I hope so. I hope you follow me. Front-end development principles: user-centric design. That's obvious. Mobile-first approach. Most of the traffic nowadays comes from mobile, so whatever you are coding, always pay attention to how it looks on mobile and whether it's usable. And the design consistency is through, again, the formulation of the aesthetics that you can carry over. Mm. Yeah, I'm gonna skip a little bit of the backend development, or I'll spend very minimal time on it because it's not as important in the context of like the 2 days hackathon. But yeah, and like you don't need to overcomplicate things. Like you can develop the microservice infrastructure and stuff like that. The APIs are important, and you want to make sure that you develop a good API layer for the third-party integrations, because obviously we are like heading into the era of AI agents communicating to each other and talking to the products and servers through the MCPs versus the UI. So API has an increasingly growing role there, and it's just too early, for example, to think of the microservices for the scalability and maintainability of the system. So I'd not bother about it too much at the stage of the hackathon. What is important though with AI coding is the security, and you need to make sure that you don't store any private keys on the front end. This happens. You want to understand the mechanics of the authentication and authorization um, using the wallet signature. so that you implement this properly to ensure the security of your Web3 startup. Because the assumption is that we are building a Web3 related thing here for this hackathon. And then you want to create a fantastic final presentation, which I sometimes miss as well. I hope you like how my presentation looks like, right? Like you can navigate and you can see the different like levels in the hierarchy by the visual. Zoom in, zoom out. I'm using Prezi for that. I used I'm using Gamma too, but Gamma is my secondary tool. Prezi is super fantastic. It's worth it's a couple dozen bucks per month for sure. I think their basic packages starting with like $5 or $10, and it will just impress the judges incredibly. You can record the video walkthroughs with Prezi as well, by the way, and I encourage you do this even if you are like super introvert. You have to say one thing to yourself: Ian, I got to do this. Um, that's it. You just have to do this. This is the time and place where you have to set aside all the fears that you have, and the only way to like make a breakthrough is to do uncomfortable things. Every successful entrepreneur is repeating about that. Um, I recommend you record yourself for the personal touch. So like have the video and your own voice. I've judged, like I've seen the projects that use artificial intelligence for the voiceover. Okay, it adds 1 point, no, like not full point, but it adds a little bit of like appreciation for like their how will I say, like familiarity and comfort with the technology, like the fact that they could go to 11 Labs, paste the text and pick the voice and generate it and then upload and overlay, because not all the people know to do this. But I still think that in the era of artificial intelligence, the personal touch is more important than like the ability to generate the media with AI if you can expose yourself. So do that. Use the AI generated voice as the backup option in in very limited cases, and somehow it would be great. I don't know if that's the environment of the hackathons that is so noisy and not allowing you to record like um, the voiceover of yours, which is without the background noise. But I've heard projects, uh, where there was a lot of like screaming in the background, and some kids walking around, the animals making noises, and so on. And you just can't jeopardize your success. I mean, these are small details, but they matter. So do your best, because you're spending your time on the workshop. You have to believe in yourself, and this means that you have to act from the um, position of the assumption of the ultimate success of yours. And if you do everything on the topmost level possible, trust me, it will be felt and read by the judges. Then the post-hackathon strategies include, first of all, the engagement with the partners and judges. Even if you did not win a hackathon, you can approach them in a very like non-pitchy way by saying, "Hey, I wanted, like, we didn't have a chance to talk during the hackathon, but I wanted your feedback." There is a golden rule in the investors world where they say, if you want money, ask for advice. If you want advice, ask for money. Uh, so this is like particularly true, and asking for advice will open you a door to a more profound conversation that can lead to some partnership or capital deployment or what have you. Keep going, identify your target audience, and start doing the efforts of the sales. Use your personal contact list. Start with things that are like totally informal, and like imagine that it's a matter of uh, life or death, that you have to find your first customer, and your network, the first level and second level connections on social networks or in real life is your way to go. Um, all right. And keep doing the market research for scaling your product, and for finding the product market fit, where the best signal that you have found it is actually the dollars that people are paying for your product. And keep iterating based on feedback. I don't know what the policy is in terms of like continuous participation, whether you can participate with the same idea twice on a hackathon, or whether it's a violation. But um, but I would try to like build a theme of the solutions if I was a developer participating in the hackathons, and I would somehow like, or somewhat like redo the products in the similar category or theme, so that after like the repeated times of the hackathons, I have something solid built around this theme or problem. Okay, this has been um, my walkthrough on how to rock the Lab hackathon. I hope that it will help you on every stages, or every stage of this of your way. And with that, I'd like to see if we have any questions or comments. After which, I will switch over to the like vibe coding and working with the live environment. Uh,
Of
Magic.
course, we have questions. Of course, we have questions, Ian. I think it was a really, really big and solid piece of hackathon knowledge you spread over here to our fellow participants. Let me just quickly check to socials. Uh, so, um, so there is actually a few questions. So one question is from Nathan. What's the biggest challenge in coding for hackathons?
I don't see challenges in coding for hackathons. Okay, I think because we're gonna use AI for coding, we're gonna build quite fast, and I think in a few hours you can build something that is like really massive, and could like serve as a final product for the submission. So that's good news. Mm, the problem that I would see, or a mistake people make, is they jump into the code too fast. I think it's super important to build all the information and the documentation around your problem and the solution, and how exactly it will look like, the solution, so that AI has enough context. Context is everything, and it will ensure that you have the product that works well. Um, with that, like sometimes AI can be like much smarter than us in terms of finding the solution. I will sometimes tell it, I want a CRM for servicing this and this uh, segment of customers, and what it will build will be like much better than I could even like imagine myself, because it was trained on so many existing solutions, on the UX, on the aesthetics, stuff like that. So it's um, it's really simple. I don't see any challenges. Just give it a go. Just get started, and it will flow. You will be impressed with how much you can achieve.
Awesome. That's a really good answer. I have another one for you. So, given like your expertise that you judge and mentored like many events, including Lab hackathons, what is the one thing that immediately tells you a team is going to win before they even pitch? What are you looking for in projects that
Hmm.
are joining the hackathon?
Um, Love, personal relationship. Look, people. Be like last time I was employed was like maybe 15 years ago. So I never had an issue of like having to work with people whom I don't like. I only work with people whom I really like and sometimes love and admire and so on, because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm surrounded by such people. And this means that because we have so much love to each other, we can first of all like get through a lot of things together and not break apart. Still remain a team, and having love, and by love I mean like a whole gamut of like positive attitude towards your team member. It's love, respect, admiration, desire to be together, desire to make good for another partner, right? Like when you have this, you naturally tend to stick together for longer. You tend to work together on the calls. You even like just have the radio, like radio silence calls. You will forgive each other for things that may be not so comfortable. So develop this in first place. Develop this atmosphere, because in this atmosphere the product um, um, really flourishes. And you can then feel this love even in the presentations, in how the team members like are passing the microphone to each other, how synchronized they are, they know who is responsible for what, and you can feel this respect and appreciation that they demonstrate to each other. Like the team chemistry is probably the number one thing that makes companies great, because it makes people stay together in one room for as long as possible. If you hate a person or you dislike the person you work with, or you fight all the time, you will just tend to finish your calls earlier. You will tend to leave, uh, like remove yourself out of the presence of that person. So that is my key to a successful hackathon.
That's true. Building beyond the code, I would say, it's something I think it's really useful for the participants. You have to forget that even though coding at the hackathon is a really important part of building a project, it's just a one of many. Your pitch, your business idea, how you will make money. If even I saw a lot of projects at the hackathon has a great idea, but they fail at delivering the most needed thing is how do you make money. So a lot of projects fail at that. So I really understand that. But you mentioned the mempool ventures and that you are general partner and that you have accelerated hundreds of startups. So let's put your investor hat for a second. So when you see a hackathon project like built with AI, so what makes you say that this is a real business versus this is just a, I don't know, wrapper around OpenAI or other AI models? So what makes projects with built with AI? I would say that is a nice project for you versus you think he's just just was a waste of time.
Um, for me, the fact that it is a ChatGPT is not any kind of like deciding factors, and the reason is, well, I saw ChatGPT coming back in 2016. I didn't think that it would be OpenAI to release such product first, because Google was one of the leaders in artificial intelligence. They had acquired DeepMind only like a year before that. OpenAI was only starting in 2015 or 16. IBM Watson was shipping the AI solutions, and it was like pretty obvious back then that these models will evolve a lot, and they will substitute the need for many of these smaller AI technologies, and like many of the AI, like small AI companies will become obsolete because of that. Um, and so that's just the natural evolution um, of this of the technology. Like what is going to happen is more power is going to be concentrated in the hands of OpenAI and top 10 players, and we are heading towards the world where uh, AI LLM APIs will be our new backend. And ChatGPT, like OpenAI, is doing everything for that. They are integrating with the top tech companies so that you can interact with Booking.com and with the Airbnb, with Figma and others through the interface of ChatGPT. And so it will not matter for a user whether it's a wrapper or whether they developed something from scratch. I would rather think I would prioritize a wrapper around OpenAI versus a startup that say, no, we developed our own data model and our own algorithm, and we train it on our own, because it tells me one thing. Well, how can a small company compete with a multi-hundred-billion-dollar corporation, right? Uh, like how will they keep training new models with their limited budget? Like it doesn't make any sense if you can achieve a very like similar level of customization through the system instructions, context management, and like fine tuning as the last resort. So I would not be shy of that. At the contrary, I would recommend building using the OpenAI API or similar solutions, like 100% better than saying, oh, I've built my uh, own small neural network, which will break or be outcompeted in a month from now.
Awesome, that's great. Let's take this for this investor part for a second. I think it's just my personal question. Given your expertise on the market, you know how much basically you are in. I have a question right now as an investor, knowing the market needs, etc., etc. Is there like any particular like project right now are you looking for? I mean, from the problem perspective, do you have like a, for example, a set list of problems that you think needs to be solved by AI, and you're looking for that project to pop up on the hackathon or whatever on your radar, or is it just like from problem to problem? It really depends on this like singular approach. What is it?
Um, like one of the themes for me is the gap between what the technology can do and how businesses adopt artificial intelligence. And the essence of this problem is that not enough business operators are actually like savvy enough to understand that AI implementation requires automation. It requires the understanding of the workflows, and a lot of like issues that derive from there, such as like the data access, the unity of data, cleanliness of data, what have you. Um, they still think AI is some kind of magic box or something that knows to think and talk to you, and it understands all the concepts. They have no idea that AI is AI doesn't live between the request and it doesn't live outside of the request and response. So once you send the request, it does the inference, sends the response back, but after that, it like this the memory run, it basically vanishes. So it's not a thinking mechanism. Um, so the solution that would bridge that gap would be quite valuable for me. So something that would assist users and maybe represent the user's interests in terms of the automated or repeated tasks, and will interact with other agents on different platforms and systems that are involved in executing of the task, is one of the themes that are interesting for me. But I mean, I see cool ideas all over the place. Like even like some small like one of the recent ones that I liked on the previous hackathon, a plugin where you can select a word in browser and it will show the translation to a different language and save it as a card, and then use it in the conversations and stuff like that. Like that's pretty useful. I mean, it's a problem that everyone has. Like everyone, like English is the second language for so many people. I want to master Arabic, for example. uh, they used the smart approach to the channel. So instead of like building an application, they built a browser plugin that lives wherever people are. Like if they are, you know, browsing the internet, reading whatever, they just select it and it's there. Uh, and that's smart because plugins require much less development time than like full-fledged solutions. So screen the problems in the industry and expertise where you are a real guru, or you at least have worked in before, and you will be able to find the problems there, or like ask people in your industry. So ask your colleagues, and then you are the expert, which is great. Your colleagues uh, are the sources of the problems, so they can tell you like what they are experiencing that has to be fixed. Uh, Put this all together, and here you have a good packaging for your product solution. Good idea for your hackathon.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Ian. So, do you want more questions, or we can go to this coding part, and then I'm gonna save the questions for the final Q&A session.
um, yeah, we can go for the coding part. And like I would like to do this in some really cool way. So I want to do what I preach, and start with some kind of the problem definition that would lead to the solution that we could then like take and develop in data button. So we should seek for a problem. Um, and we are building for Web3. Is that right? Because the hackathon is Web3 related, or does it not matter? Or are we building AI like solution that involves artificial intelligence?
I think the last part.
We are building the technology, the product with artificial intelligence.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
exactly. I mean, so really, because we have this term like vibe coding. So I think
Yeah.
I see that there's a lot of AI solutions right now on the market that aiming for this, I would say, small apps. So generate a website, create I don't know, simple selling website for a product, something like this. But there is also a lot of tools that being built, especially like on the hackathon in the Dubai that we are participating, that it was rather, like you said, so building the applications with like AI tools integrated. So like, is it like specify like AI agent for like specialized workflows, or anything else? So I think we can build something you will be confident in. I think to showcase the full potential of cloud code potentially. So whatever you're comfortable with, we can go for.
Okay, great. Okay, then let's. Can we make a 2 minutes break?
Yes, we can make a short break.
Let's do
Um,
5 minutes break and reconvene in 5 minutes.
okay, sure.
The plan will be like this. I will show you my setup in Cloud Code, and then after that we will do the vibe coding with Data Button.
Okay, awesome. So let's do it like this. Okay, okay. Hello. After a short break, we are ready for the second part of the session. Ian, the floor is yours.
Yep, lovely. So, by the way, I have one idea about the product that we're gonna vibe code very soon. So it was a productive break. But before we do that, I want to show you my Cloud Code setup. Um, I think it's Cloud is like pretty suitable for like larger developments, and as you can see, it's quite substantial here with enough folders and subfolders. So Cloud Code is like super compatible with VS Code, and as such, it's a terminal tool, right? It's a command line interface that lives inside of your IDE. And the good thing is that it has the access to the folder that you're working in, and it knows particularly like what exactly you have selected and what file you're in. So it gives Cloud Code pretty good amount of like context and understanding what is going on. Um, One of the really cool features about Cloud Code that doesn't always work is the multi-agentic orchestration and the fact that you can develop your own agents that will do different parts of the work. Um, so, like when I was younger, a few months younger, I was naive and I developed all these beautiful agents: Git Workflow Manager, API Integration Specialist, Code Quality Enforcer, Product Task Manager, Security Reviewer, Testing Strategies, and so on, for different like parts of um, or like phases of the life cycle of the project. And then every agent is basically their own system instruction. Nothing fancier than that. It's just an injection of the role model and what it is supposed to do, like what to look at, like key rules and so on. Um, every system instruction is between like 50 lines and like up to 500 lines. Um, and the way that you can create these agents is you can ask Cloud Code to write the code for you, like the system instruction of this agent, and then it will develop like a horrible one. Like trust me, it will be a 200, 500 lines instruction that will be like very little value, a lot of things that Cloud will ignore in the real work anyways, unless you explicitly ask about him or her to actually involve these sub agents. So like that's one interesting area that I hope will like grow in the future, but I don't see a lot of use in agents right now because Claude is not involving these agents, and you still have to remind about the rules manually. Claude also has commands. Commands are also represented by the system instructions that explain like what workflow to trigger, or like separate context to give for to a certain conversation that you are having with it. So this one and mm, yeah, this one called new feature is the command that like triggers the complete feature development workflow. So it creates a branch task, initiates a PRD discussion, coordinates specialists, and like does all the things that like help you like uh, build like more workflow environment. So you can build the commands for things like the closure of the features, the testing of the features, product discovery conversations, and what have you. And then every of these commands will have the particular standard operating procedures. Now, the way I structure my project here with Cloud Code is that I maintain everything as a dev container, and this way Claude is solving all the issues for me, including the DevOps things. So I had it develop the post create file for me. It has grown over time, but like every time when I make the change to the configuration itself, like I add a new environment variable, or I change anything, like I will ask Claude Code to also like reflect this change in the post create script that is called after the dev container is um, up and running. And I have a plenty of scripts in the .devops folder um, for different things such as the testing, um, backend and front end, um, um, launch and relaunch, and so on. So this way, I know that many developers are like using Cloud Code for the development, but then they are still struggling to deploy the application. This as a dev container is fully complete to develop to deploy with the tools that ensure the easy deployment of the dev containers. Now, before I even get to the development itself, I do maintain a folder called Docs, which has the backlog, the notes, which are the unstructured notes and different features, and has the subfolder PRD, which I respect a lot throughout my workflow. Everything starts with the README file that, no, okay, sorry, it doesn't start here. Everything starts with the roadmap file. It will then go into the PRD. So a roadmap file is like a long-term vision of this um, of my product. It helps maintain what we are working on right now, what are the tasks that have been already completed, tasks in progress, and what will have to happen next. As you can see, every of these are explained with a very simple and short nomenclature, because otherwise the document would be unmanageable from the file size perspective. Yep, so that is like a first um, point of attack where we are maintaining some long-term oversight. And then from this long-term oversight, we indeed go into um, we go into the PRD, and the PRD is structured per components. So my system is split into the components, and then every of the components, for example, workspace management is like described with the set of the PRD, product requirement documents. I find this phase to be like extremely important for the developers, and they overlook the like the creation of these PRDs, but they serve a good basis for the further development of the code itself. Without the PRDs, you cannot maintain uh, the code in the long run and make sure that it complies with what you have written down. It doesn't work very well 100% of the times. Cloud Code is still has the work to do there, but at least I'm building the product for the future that will be entirely AI driven, and it means that the reference to the product requirements documents will be important in the future. Okay, so I use this extensively. I have the templates for this. I have a feature template that explains how to write the PRD document. You have the feature ID, the status of it, what component this feature belongs to, when it was created and last updated. This is extremely important because AI tends to create so many documents over time that if there is no information about, of course, he can look up in GitHub or on Git in terms of the history, but the best way is if you have the timestamps and some like relevance um, information or some semantics that give better context about the particular feature. And then you do the business requirement description. Uh, then you do the user stories in a format such as a user type, I want a certain capability so that I can achieve a certain benefit. Um, Acceptance criteria, uh, given the initial state when user action or trigger, we then should be the expected outcome, and then there has a linkage to the test ID, and then from these from the acceptance criteria, we actually like develop the playwright tests. I find playwright to be like super powerful in the automation of the testing. And so after and I will show you later how we actually like have the tests developed on a system. um, there is plenty of like other aspects to the document, such as the UI requirements, performance requirements, API contracts that it should use, edge cases in error handling, implementation notes, definition of done, which is like a checklist. That again, I was so naive to think that it is all gonna like go perfect, but unfortunately AI is very far from like understanding that like this checklist is much more important than probably anything else in this document when I tell it that the task is done, for example, right? It fails to check against these things more often than not, but it is still useful to at least maintain this for the future. I believe that AI is going to be better and better over time, and at some point you will be able to feed the entire folder into the AI, and it will sort out its job. Um, and so then after the PRD development, we have the tests written as well per components, and after that we have the front end and back end folders. Okay, there is, other than this, like there is nothing super fancy or interesting about Claude Code that is worth like sharing here. Maybe the thing that it actually has a few modes. It has the modes, the planning mode, where it will burn more tokens for thinking in yet a better model. And then, as you can see, plan mode is reflected with this green status text in the status bar. I change the modes by pressing Shift Tab. I can press it to default mode, and I can press it to accept all edits on, which means that it will run all the edits on its own, and you don't need to accept the change one by one. The default mode is such that every edit that it makes will have to go through your review, and you will accept this change to happen. Um, I typically go with the default mode. I don't like to give it the full freedom, especially for what kind of super OCD developer I am, because AI can still make a lot of mistakes when it gets to like a huge code, and our code is pretty sizable as for artificial intelligence. Yep, it's pretty. Um, it's pretty large. Pages. We have components. Yeah, it's a crap load of code for AI to tackle. At this size of the code base, it is already like losing the track of like what pattern of the implementation to follow and maintain and so on. Okay, but moving on, I would actually like to focus on the data button more, because I think that is the solution that you will find much more valuable during the hackathon. It's easier to create and deploy the solutions with it without like a lot of the development and deployment overhead. So I will head over to data button in a minute for the vibe coding experience. But before that, I think we need to spend a little bit of time with ChatGPT to identify or verify our problem and um, get get assured on the solution that we are building. I'm gonna share another screen. Okay, so the assumption of the problem that I have is that the developers or the people participants of the hackathon are actually having issue of finding other people that would be compatible with them. So I will first want to let's assume that this problem has been validated. Let's assume that I just strolled around the hackathon area and I spoke with other participants, and I got to realize that they haven't picked a team member yet or what have you, and I want to build a solution that will help me like find the best match in terms of the team members. And I see this as first a small tool that will where I feed any I feed any URL of the page or any piece of text about a person or from a person, and this and AI will then take this text or the URL and will try to figure out what is the psychometric type of this person. So I will want to understand what is my compatibility with it. Secondly, I will want for and for it to get that compatibility, it will have me pass the test first so that they know what type I am. And so I'm going to describe this to ChatGPT. I will say that I want to build an app for a hackathon where I can paste a piece of text written by a person or about them, and for the app to figure out their let's say 16 personalities MBTI score, MBTI profile, and the compatibility for that. I want to sign up and pass the test myself as a user. I plan that this should be a web app mobile screen friendly. Later, I will also make it a browser extension, but for now, I will do this as a standalone app. Okay, what I need from you is business model canvas, Sequoia style pitch deck, and PRD for the data button driven development with AI. An app figure out. Okay, all of this will be done by AI calling OpenAI API. Okay. And I will write this because we want to save some time. I don't have time for any of your questions. Just assume everything you need. Yep, okay. Yeah, nice. In the real world, during the hackathon, you don't want to say just assume everything. Although it's not bad, it will probably like use its knowledge that in some cases is like better than mine. I admit that. But sometimes you will want it to ask you more clarifying questions before moving forward. Okay, so it has generated the business model canvas for us. That's great. Value proposition, customer segments, channels, customer relationships, key activities, key resources, key partners, revenue streams. This is important. This is missing in so many hackathon applications, to be honest. Okay, which is subscription based. Okay, API access, which is great in the new world where AI agents can actually access this server through the MCP. And then we have a Sequoia style pitch deck. Okay. We'll just take it as it is. And now what interests us the most is the PRD, because we're going to take this PRD and enter this in data button. So, okay, it's a little bit lengthy, but let's see if it's thorough enough. MBTI mirror. Fast, elegant, mobile-first web app where users analyze personality and compatibility using AI from any text input. It has offered the user flows. User signs up, pastes their own text or multiple samples. System generates MBTI functions, temperament, could analyze someone else, share, core functional requirements. Okay, should be pretty good. Taking this text, we'll create a new MD file. Just a sec. You will not be able to see me create it. All right. So you see, it took me like 5 to 7 minutes to generate this information, and it's crucial for our like further progress in solution. Then I'm heading over to data button. Data button is the Swiss based company, I believe. Um, Good friends of mine with not enough attention. I think they are they are definitely like undervalued. Okay, so I can describe what I want to build. Okay, I'll paste the same text here. Okay. Um, mm, 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 mm. So they want me to do this in 1500 characters. I'll do this. Shorten the BRD to 1500 chars. Okay, I'll copy it now. Okay, hello. What's going on? Um, okay, that gets tricky. Oops. Send magic link. We'll do it like this. Okay, while it's loading, let's see if there are any other questions that I can answer meanwhile. Let's use the time as efficiently as possible.
There are always some questions. There are always some questions, Ian. I was happy our community is asking some. Let me check the socials. What are the exactly the
Mhm.
questions? We have some questions like what IDE or a vibe coder are you using? Uh,
I'm using VS Code with Cloud Code CLI.
okay, nice. Let me just so in terms of like for the coding, I have a question for you. So do you think like is the current AI coding wave actually different, or is it just another tool like Stack Overflow was back in the day?
Yes, it's different because what you can do now is like develop the entire like the entire applications with the use of with the use of AI. So
Okay,
it's for sure different.
okay.
Like I
Um,
think AI will change. Look, AI is going to change like how we think about work overall. We will never again be inside of the business process or any creation process. The AI will be creating, and we will be the supervisors who are directing the AI to create it the way we want it. So that is to like change forever, and we'll never get back to like human work. Like I strongly believe in that. We love it or we hate it, but similarly to how electric vehicles will probably like take over the internal combustion engine cars. We all will use EVs, but we may, from time to time, like ride a good old Jag or Mercedes with a fuel engine, just for fun or just because of the sound of it. Similarly, we will still like write code or write things with hands, but more and more often it will not be considered to be uh, like necessary or typical for work.
okay, understood. There's one question from the community. So is cloud paid in VS Code?
It's Claude paid. Claude is paid. Yes, you have packages. Actually, I think you can use some free versions, but because you need to use your API, so you have the packages with Claude Code, starting with um, starting with like $20 or $50. Let's look it up. Okay, I'm ready to share my screen again. Present.
Awesome. Let me put it once you will share it. I'm gonna put it up on the stage.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I think we have it.
Good. So let's refer to pricing. Um, okay, you can try code free, and then you go to Pro and Max, and then there is like Max, it's $200, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so you try for free, but then you're paying, and look, it's worth it. It's saving you like, you know, dozens of hours of time every day. So yeah, go for it. Okay, I actually, so I went into the data button, and because Riff is not responsive for me right now, I have the like, here is the ID of the data button itself, and I have the empty application here with very little everything, and I will tell it like this: I want to delete anything I have and use this space to build my new app according to the PRD, sorry, to the PRD below. Um, okay, I will copy this again. I hope it not crashes for the size of the text. And my data button agent will start thinking and working on it. It's doing the task breakdown. So it has broken down into setup and configuration, backend API, text analysis, user and compatibility, front-end onboarding and baseline, front-end analysis and results, and then sharing feature. Okay, good. Onboarding and baseline. Okay, this sounds good. Can we start? Okay, this sounds good. So it will start creating the tasks for us. The data button interface is split into parts. First of all, you have the access to the files, so you can always like browse the content that it is generating for you. Secondly, it has the preview of what you're building, and you have the ability to do the code editing. You have the planning feature for seeing your tasks, and it is creating the tasks for us right now. I just have to confirm it. You have the native Firebase integration, and you have the settings where you can configure the name of your application, a little bit of the description about it, and configure the agent. Okay, interesting here is that you can describe the aesthetics of the application as well. Among these features, what's interesting is that you can okay, you can clone, you can export the code, which is valuable. You can transfer ownership and so on. You can indicate your own domain, and it will create a CNAME record for you. So it's very easy. You will create, you will buy a domain for your startup, and then you will connect it here. You don't need to deploy the application on your end. It will just be hosted by Data Button. And by the way, they are not charging for hosting unless it's some crazy volume. But be sure that uh, be sure to have the records and show the records to the judges, because the beauty that you will build, they may not believe that you built it for for so fast. Okay, we'll keep going by creating the tasks that it is suggesting for us. Okay, while it is adding this, I will probably do the short summary of the same application for this field. It will feed into the relevant context. So I will want to say that now provide the 700 characters version. That also preserves, I think it's important to add preserves the essence, so it can be probabilistically inferred from the description. Perfect. And the name of it is MBTI. What was it? MBTI scanner? MBTI mirror. Okay, we keep creating tasks. Can you please set up a nice looking landing page? When we are talking about the style, we will do something like I want to repeat. Will you indicate or reference the aesthetics of something? Aesthetics of Apple. Let's not go too far. Everything good has been already invented for us. Please create a task for it. Prompt start and go ahead. Okay, mind you, I'm not checking the tasks very thoroughly. Of course, you will want to like give it some correction to the direction, but look, it works well. It creates the tasks and then prompts the start of the task. The task is now active. Meanwhile, I'll walk you through other features here. One another feature is like version control. So as it starts working and works on the code, you will be able to see the changes, compare the changes, and even like revert to the previous versions. Of course, not as powerful as Git, but look, it's what you need for the 15 hours of, if your goal is to really rock and roll with the hackathon, right? It's, you can sacrifice a few principles of like proper software development life cycle for the sake of like speed of delivery. All right. Yeah, and you have the deployment feature where it will show you, okay, it will offer the subdomain on data button, or rather, sorry, the subfolder, um, and you will deploy it there. And as long as you have the domain connected, you will be able to deploy on your domain. Mm. Mm. Okay, it keeps us updated about the progress with subtasks of this task. It's a cool feature of it. It also moved this task to in progress, and it's making the notes as it works in the task, so it can refer to the notes later on. Um, let's see what it has come up with. Um, we don't need the code. Okay. So here we are. We have our first landing page, which is pretty minimalistic but good aesthetics, good font, nice, gradient in the font face, which is interesting. Call to action. Okay. I don't like these. These are not very prominent. Um, Yay! But okay, as such, you can see that it has generated us the landing page, and we can decide to deploy it on our production domain. So that will be your um, first step to shipping the hackathon product is done. You have a landing page and it's beautiful. And I mean, guys, it's really important. The aesthetics and the packaging of your product for the hackathon is as important as the essence and like the technological breakthrough that you are making. All right, so let's say I am happy with this task for now. I'll close it, mark it as done. And now that we don't need this context for the next task, it will still be saved as a conversation. Here's the list of all the conversations, but I will start a new thread or a new conversation, and I will do the setup of the backend. Okay, it is wanting us what? OpenAI API key. All right, no problem. We'll create a key for this.
Okay, so Ian, while we
Then
wait, I have a small question for you. Is this your like typical tech stack that you use? Do you even do like vibe coding outside of workshops, or and if you do, is it your like traditional setup that you use in terms of like cloud code with Sonnet, or do you use something different?
yes, typically Cloud Code, typically Data Button for easier products, and like Cloud Code with VS Code for something more long term, and um, how will I say, significant in terms of the size.
Okay, nice.
Okay, I have one issue, which is that I'm using my different phone, so I can't connect to my OpenAI account to generate the key. And so I will do this instead. I will say I don't have enough time. I want you to stop all the OpenAI calls with mockup output. Um, yeah, let's do this. Let's just say screw it. We'll use mock responses. Okay, he's doing something. He's doing the lang detect package. It's a package that helps with like simpler um, word processing. So it's finding its way around everything. Now this this development itself is typically like hours spent in front of the laptop talking to the agent, and then going back and like drinking coffee, how we used to like start the computers in the 90s, and waited for a minute or two for it to turn on. Same is happening with these, um, so we can watch like educational videos in the background when you're working with Cloud Code or Data Button. Yeah, I'm amazed. It's finding its own ways around OpenAI, for example. Okay, it's changing cre- creating the database schemas. Let's see what files it has developed for us. Okay, it has developed the landing page files. Where are the APIs? I don't see any APIs created yet. Maybe interface not updated. I want to see more files here. What are these files? Okay, it's created the mock data for the responses. It's good. Um, okay, it has basically created the stubs for us. Mark it as done. Yes, pretty smart in terms of like defining the next priorities. This is what I like about Data Button more than Cloud Code, is that it reads the tasks, and offers what is better. Prompts for the start of the task. Nice. This task moved in progress. Okay, while it's running, I'm gonna do something else. Guys, pay attention. We have limited time on every hackathon, so we'll work in parallel. I'm taking the same output that we have from ChatGPT about um, this project, and I'm gonna use the pitch deck, Sequoia style pitch deck. Okay, I got the pitch deck text, and I'm going to prezi.com. Again, I don't remember what is the lowest possible price, but it's definitely worth it. I'm pasting the structure here, and I will let its AI do its job as well. I'll click skip chat and create presentation. Let's see what's happening with our agent. Okay, it's working, it's providing us feedback. It wants to proceed with testing the endpoints. I'll assume it did everything okay. I'll return back to Prezi. Come on, Prezi. AI, work faster. All right, it has developed the basic outline for us. I will accept it. As in every hackathon, every minute counts. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the quality for the speed. Okay, we'll return to Prezi in 2 minutes. It's still taking its time. It's clear, it's worth it. Okay, this one is still testing the endpoints. Okay, seems like Prezi has created the presentation for us. We'll go to the editor. It's created a lot of images. I think it's generating the images with AI, so that's why they are still loading. But frankly, they also have like their own library, like so many images that you can like reuse or replace then. And let's see. All right, seems like it has created a good presentation for us, unlocking the personality insights. The mobile first web app, you're gonna change this text if you want. And then you are gonna have the interactive presentation. Let's see, let's go to the section again, understanding personality insights. Okay, it explains what the personality test is. Okay. Okay, so it's a good presentation for you to like then go ahead and record with. Target audience, very well. Okay, so as you can see, even like the fact that you're limited in time doesn't mean that you can create something like really awesome. Prezi is a fantastic tool. It has been around since 2009 or 2010. Um, so if you click record as video, it will basically try to combine both the presentation and your camera, overlay the presentation over you, and it creates this nice visual effect. I will not do this not to screw up the streaming here, but that's what it is. Let's go back to here. It says it's done. Should we have more time, we would verify, but we can see that it has generated the two APIs. Okay, analyze and baseline. Okay, cool. Yes, let's move to the next task, which is the task number 4. When you work with the tools like this, just some of the tips. Of course, they are not going to be like right from the very first time, and the more code you have, like the more errors they or like inaccuracies they're gonna make, and you will have to deal with it. Like you will have to ask it to redo things over and over again, and sometimes you just need to build up this understanding for the AI agent. I had a session where I was working on a certain like feature for 6 hours straight, and it could not get this feature. Like it couldn't get what I want, but I kept fixing it all the time. And then I was so fed up, I was like ready to entirely delete the feature and the conversation. But I told it, okay, I'm going to revert everything back from ground zero, but you have all the previous context of what is right and wrong. So please use this to rebuild everything from scratch. And you know what, guys? It actually did this. Like it has created a pretty complex feature on in one go. In the end of my 6-hour session. So highly recommend you to do this. Like stick to the conversation, fill it up with context, what's wrong and what's not, what's right, and then it will eventually get shit done for you. Okay, it's creating the front end now. I will stop it. I say, please bear in mind, we already have the page which should be our starting point, and be connected to further pages in the user journey. While it's working, do we have any questions I can answer?
Of course, we have questions. We have always questions, Ian. I have one from maybe uh, about the different approach. So, uh, do you know any alternatives that works on mobile?
For the vibe coding?
Yes.
No, not really. I just didn't get so far, because I can't imagine myself working on the development with my phone. It's like the super intrusion of work and artificial intelligence into every corner of my life. So
Okay.
sadly, or luckily, no. Luckily for me.
The question, when are you building a live prototype? So how do you handle context limits?
It's pretty large, the limit itself. So we will most probably not bump into the limits. I think this tool is like doing the summarization of work pretty well. Um, but in case there is a limit, I start the new conversation, and the fact that it is making notes to the task is helpful because that is how it recreates the context.
Okay. There is one question. What uh, what what do you use to generate the UI components? So the front end. What do you use for the front end generation?
Uh, React, and then whatever it will recommend will be also installed. So it's typically like Zoostand, Tailwind, ShadCN, and so on. Like the most like the freshest, the most maintained libraries that the AI will have the most knowledge about will be the the choice.
Okay. And what is your position on backend as a service? So what do you think about the Supabase or Firebase versus spinning your own canisters?
It's a way to
Firebase.
go. It's a way to go for sure. Like do Superbase day and night. Too many startups die because, including some startups that we invested in, and even the products that we built, when we think about the scalability like too early, and built out these super complex Kubernetes clusters, all the freaking Lambda functions stuff, and then in like paying like $1,000 or few $1,000s on the development environment before you even like get that scale of users. Uh, so build as simply as possible in terms of the further maintenance of the infrastructure, and then scale as you can see the user traction. That would be
Okay.
my approach.
Okay, nice. Thank you. And okay, so and what about the debugging of the AI code? So do you have any process for test-driven development with AI?
Are these your questions, or is the community asking?
That's my question.
Okay, it's a very smart question. Are you a developer?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow. Then it's really profound. Yes, I love the TDD, the test-driven development, where the flow is the generation of the product requirement predicates, and then that then evolve into the testing predicates. When this, then that, and then like the expected outcome, and then after that. The front end is developed. The tests are integrated with the front end in terms of the like all the ideas and stuff, all the flow. Then the back end is being developed, and then everything basically like gets tested with the tests, like both the unit tests and the tests in the Playwright. Playwright is a very powerful tool for the test automation. It's basically a headless browser, or say no, it's a testing suite that uses the headless browsers to like manipulate with the web pages and execute the tests that manipulate with the pages in the headless mode, or UI-less mode, if you will.
Nice.
Um, Look, I need to switch my Wi-Fi. I'll be right back.
Okay. Guys, gentle reminder, if you want to, Ian, ask some question, this is the opportunity to do it. You can learn a lot. He has a great experience in the field. Um, and he is here to help and teach our community with anything related to the hackathons, really. So if you are interested in any of the topic, or there's something that needs to be explained, feel free to reach out in the chat.
Um, okay, I think I'm back. Can you hear me and see
Yes,
me all right?
yes,
Okay, so
everything.
it has created, when you go to the homepage, um, you can, this is fine because we want the mobile friendly stuff, so it's okay. We'll do the mobile layout. All right, it has a like a small explainer what it is. I'll go to create my profile. Alrighty. I think it has kind of stopped the profile creation, so it's good. And then it asked me to share my writing. Um, and and I want to um, generate 10 paragraphs of text about me, which is to be used to deduct my MBTI. BTI. Okay, ChatGPT knows a lot about me. Um, okay, I'll just pick 5 items. Let's test how it works. I'm pasting the text. Okay, it even like has the. Okay, it's created the text counter. Good. I click analyze profile. It's doing the analysis. Good. Uh, when I click, let's see what's according to the plan. Should it already analyze or not? Text analysis to do. Um, when I click, nothing happens. When I enter text and click analyze. Um, okay, so the rest will be like the troubleshooting and fixing of the bugs. But as you can see, like I was able to build the basis for the application in I think less than like 40 minutes. Was it? Um, let's see when was the PRD created on my laptop. Okay, the PRD was created at 7:50, so it's like 50 minutes ago. Uh, Not bad. So give it 2 to 3, 4 hours of the development like this, and you can come up with almost any small product for that would be suitable for the hackathon purposes. As you see, the aesthetics is good. It's important. In the parallel, we were able to create the presentation for it, which I would agree is not ideal because we did skip the previous step where it was asking us about the audience of of our pitch deck and so on. But all in all, uh, I would be satisfied if I came to a hackathon with this tool set in my hands. Um, so with that, I think I'd love to like stop here. I will not be doing like the development till the live version because it may take another 2 to 3 hours. Machi, does it make sense?
Yes, of course. I think it's not enough, bringing it to the live mode. I think the core of what you wanted to show has been shown. People watching right now, almost 100 people, can see which tools are being used and how to really, really build like comprehensive product, not only from the developer and coding perspective, but also from the other verticals that is needed for development on the business, so pitch deck and so on. So uh, tackling the problem, one thing, how we can approach the business idea, how we can formulate it, how should we uh, like try to really find this one problem that we want to show, that we want to solve with our project, and focus on this. I think all of this has been shown already. So yeah, amazing. I was listening, even though I was backstage. I was listening through the hall. I'm not a developer myself, but I can, and I can understand a lot from the developers' word. But for me personally, I don't need to. Probably the debugging part was most important for me because. For me as a non-developer, I don't know the code. I don't know where the AI makes mistakes. So for me, it will be, and probably for all of like a lot of like vibe coders, it's really important to how to really try to find those places when the code is not accurate. But other than that, I think this it will be very useful for our builders. We're going to show this workshop probably before the H hackathon to show them use this, and this is like in this 2.5 hours. You probably there was a lot of alpha and a lot of like recipe for winning a hackathon. So if anyone was really like watching closely and listening to what you've been saying, um, they can earn a bag on the next hackathon. Not even one bag, but like many dollars. So yeah.
Yep, I hope for that. It's again, it's definitely worth it. I did the maths. It justifies to spend time on hackathons and do this to the best way possible. Machi, I thank you so much for your participation and like hosting me today, bearing with me for 2 hours 45 minutes. And
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
if I can be of any help in the future, let me know. happy to judge more of the hackathons also.
Of course, we have many new hackathons lining up. We have one with Cubic this weekend, Hack the Future. We have another lining up probably for the January and February. We'll be have a surge hackathon when you can like build the project, how to build and found your AI startup. We have probably another with AI and robotics with Surge as well. So there's a lot of coming in. So there'll be a lot of occasions to get you involved, Ian, but also another occasions to if for all the viewers that are following right now, there is a lot of hackathons which will be organized. So be sure to follow us on LinkedIn, X, Twitch, Instagram. Join our Discord. There's a lot of information over there as well. And like good luck. Be sure if you are here just for the coding phase, be sure to uh, see it and watch it from the beginning because there was a lot of information regarding from the business perspective. So yeah, thank you very much, Ian, once again for this really comprehensive workshop. It was actually a pleasure to hosting you here. Um, yeah, and looking forward for the
Thank you.
next.
All right. Good. Good. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye now. Good luck, everyone.
thank you very much, and good luck.